The holidays are almost here, and if you're like many parents, you're probably already bracing for those family gatherings where your child's differences or unique needs might stand out, or worse yet, become a spectacle. You know the feeling, the judgment, the expectations that your child should just do as they're told and stay quiet. But what if I told you there's a way to navigate these moments with confidence? In this week's episode, I'm sharing how to face family perceptions or judgment, set boundaries, and communicate for change when family doesn't understand your child. Let's get you the tools needed to make the struggle smoother. Welcome to Calm Connection Parenting, where we buckle up for the emotional roller coaster of raising intense and highly sensitive kids and discover some amazing things along the way. I'm your host, Jamie Kirkbride, a mom of 7, parenting coach, professional counselor, and your guide through the wild world of meltdowns, challenging behaviors, and big emotions. If you're exhausted and overwhelmed, feeling like you're always one step away from chaos, searching for a little calm in your day, then you're in the right place. Here, you'll find practical tools and faith-based strategies to transform your family. Together, we'll laugh, we'll learn, and we'll figure out how to turn those messy meltdowns into moments of connection. Let's jump in. If you're feeling like you have to avoid family interactions, maybe holiday activities, or just simple time together with extended family making memories, then this episode is for you. It can be difficult parenting a child who others just don't understand. In the midst of what others might see as strong-willed, difficult, defiant, highly sensitive, emotionally intense, spirited, or angry, you see a child that longs to be understood and who likely has a really good heart. It just sometimes gets lost in all of the behaviors and emotion. But you're not quite sure if that gap can be bridged between family and your child. And you may even be questioning if you're the right person to attempt to do it. Well, today I'm sharing tools to give you the confidence and courage to step out and give it a shot. If you're feeling that knot in your stomach just thinking about the upcoming holiday gatherings, I get it. It's hard enough managing the typical everyday parenting stress and the usual holiday chaos, but when your child has unique needs or struggles, it can feel like all eyes are on you. The judgment, the expectations, even the whispers, it can be a lot. But the truth is, you are not alone, and it doesn't have to be as overwhelming as it seems. You might even be questioning if you're doing the right thing as a parent. Maybe you feel like you have to minimize or even hide your child's problems or issues. You might carefully plan each possible turn ahead to avoid any possible disaster. Or it might be that you're constantly explaining, but no one seems to understand or approach things with care. Today, our format is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have a question and answer. So we're going to share this letter from a mom facing this very challenge. And I think it's a situation many of you may identify with. Quite possibly and likely a letter many of you could have written. So here's her question in letter form. Here's what it had to say. I'm reaching out because I'm dreading the upcoming holiday gatherings. Every year, without fail, my child will make a big scene, either with angry outbursts, meltdowns, or embarrassing behavior. And it feels like the entire celebration is disrupted and sometimes even ruined. It's so hard to watch everyone exchange uncomfortable glances, whispering behind our backs, or outright judging my child and even our parenting. No matter how many times I try to explain that my child is different and has unique needs, it doesn't seem to make a difference. My parents in particular expect my child to behave just like all the other kids. No special treatment, no understanding that my child has some real issues. They think if I was parenting right, my child wouldn't behave this way. It's incredibly isolating and exhausting. I find myself avoiding things, hoping we get sick and have to stay home to avoid having to deal with it. I'm just downright dreading the holidays and family get-togethers. No one seems to understand or even try. They don't get that what you expect from other kids isn't even possible with our child. And they don't understand that no amount of discipline is going to fix this. Despite walking on eggshells, all the careful planning, and turning myself inside out with anxiety and worry, I'm at a loss. How can I help my parents, actually my whole family, understand? And how do I keep it together when I'm feeling so judged and misunderstood by those who are closest to us? If our own family can't or won't understand, what then? Sincerely, a dreading mom. Wow, I know so many of you can relate to this mom's struggle. And honestly, I can remember some similar feelings a few years back. So how do you handle these moments without feeling defeated, frustrated, or like you're constantly on the defensive? Well, today I want to share a strategy that will help you step into these moments with confidence. And I want to tell you that I want you to understand that your journey in parenting is tough. And it's okay that it feels tough. It's okay to stop and acknowledge that. And I appreciate the bravery and just stating it like you feel it and asking, what can we do? So today I'm going to share a strategy that helps hopefully not just this mom, but anybody else that can identify. We're going to talk about how to face family perceptions and expectations, set boundaries, and most importantly, create a deeper understanding for your child. I want to make this as simple and easy to remember as possible, which is why we're going to use the acronym FACE. Remember, we're going to face the family. So each letter represents an important step that you can take to navigate these tough moments. It's easy to remember and easy to apply no matter what holiday gathering or family dynamic you might be facing. It's not easy trying to navigate the tricky family dynamics that we may face, especially when you feel like you're constantly explaining and defending your child's behavior. But I want to remind you, this is not a reflection of your parenting. It's about understanding, and sometimes it takes time for others to really get it. And today I'm going to give you some tools to help bridge that gap. Let's start with the first step in facing these challenges. It's all about how you face the situation. So if you're ready, let's break it down. First of all, F is for feel. This might sound like a simple first step, but let me tell you, it's one of the most important things you can do when you're feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, maybe even a little bit betrayed by the way things are playing out in your life, in your family, or with your child. Parenting a child with unique needs can stir up a mix of emotions, and it's so important that you acknowledge what you're feeling, even the tough emotions. When you're constantly defending your child, explaining their behavior, and trying to help others understand, it can leave you feeling like you're carrying the weight of the world. And it can add the stress of family gatherings. It can start to feel like a pressure cooker waiting to explode. But here's the thing. You are allowed to feel what you feel. Your emotions are valid. And if I was sitting across from this mom that wrote the letter, that's the first thing I would want to say to her. It is okay to feel what you feel. When you face your feelings head on, you can take control of them instead of letting them control you. Now, our goal isn't to stay parked in those feelings or let those feelings define us, but that we acknowledge them, because it's the first step toward finding clarity and peace. When you recognize your feelings, you can begin to sort them out and decide where you want to go from there. And that's part of taking your control back. So you might ask yourself, okay, what am I feeling right now? Is there a variety of complex emotions, sometimes totally opposite emotions, but at the same time? You might ask yourself, am I feeling overwhelmed? Which is totally understandable, especially with everything on your plate. Am I feeling frustrated? It's normal to be frustrated when things aren't going like maybe you had expected or planned or hoped they would. Am I feeling betrayed or misunderstood? Parenting a child with extra needs can often leave you feeling like you're alone, like no one else really gets it. Am I feeling abandoned? It can be incredibly lonely when you don't have the support you need in this parenting journey. Maybe you've heard this phrase before about feelings, but you have to name them to tame them. Once you name these feelings, you can start to make peace with them. And again, this doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out right away. It's a process. It simply means that you're giving yourself the grace to feel things without guilt, without judgment. It also helps you take a step back, process, and breathe. And honestly, that can really help diffuse those feelings from the intensity that we can so easily get stuck in. By facing your feelings, you begin to regain control over them. Instead of reacting in frustration or hurt during those family moments, you can start to approach the situation from a place of awareness. You'll be able to decide how you want to respond, thoughtfully, calmly, and with the strength and ability to set boundaries and even advocate for your child. So take a deep breath, feel what you feel, and then decide, where do I want to move forward and how can I do it with intention? A is accept. This is one of those steps that can also sound kind of simple or easy, but it can be an ongoing challenge when it comes to how you approach parenting, especially a child who has extra needs. Acceptance isn't about resigning yourself to just a life of struggle or I'll just lower my expectations. No, it's about understanding that your child is uniquely wired. And that's not a bad thing. It's simply a different path. Accepting your child's unique needs means embracing who they are without shame, without feeling like you've done something wrong. Sometimes we as parents can get caught up in trying to fix our child or maybe even wishing that our child could just be like others. But let me remind you, your child is not broken. God perfectly designed your child with a purpose that's far beyond the behavior that shows up in those difficult moments. When we talk about acceptance, we're also talking about acknowledging that parenting a child who has these extra or special needs, or one who is emotionally intense, is a different journey than what we may have expected. And that's okay. It's okay to recognize that you won't always have all the answers or a magic solution to make everything perfect. This journey in parenting will require a great deal of flexibility, patience, and a whole lot of grace for both your child and yourself. Acceptance also means recognizing that other people may not understand right away, and even that some sadly might not ever. Your family, your friends, they may not fully get it yet. It's not because they don't love your child, but sometimes, unless someone has walked in your shoes, they just can't see things from your perspective. And sometimes we have to get to a place where that's okay too. What's important is that we can accept where we are right now. You're doing the best you can with the tools you have. You're working to gain more tools, and that's something you can be proud of. And while it may take time for others to catch up and fully understand what you're dealing with, you are not failing as a parent. You're working to educate yourself and ensure that your child can get the support and the understanding that they deserve. Acceptance will give you permission to be present in the moment without the pressure of perfection. It allows you to start from a place of strength, knowing that your child's differences are just a part of their identity, just a part. And it's your job to help them thrive in a world that doesn't always see them for who you know they truly are. So today, I want you to remind yourself, it's okay if your journey looks different. It's okay if others don't fully understand yet. What matters is that you're doing the hard work of parenting with love, intention, empathy, and compassion. And really, that's all anyone, including your child, could ever ask. And it's all God asked when He gifted you this child to nurture. He will give you what you need for this journey. We'll be back in a moment. Are your child's emotions and challenging behaviors pushing you to the edge? You're not alone. From constant struggles to emotional outbursts, it's easy to feel like you're just one step away from chaos. But what if I told you there's a better way? In the Calm Connection program, you'll get access to a video course, workbooks, and a supportive community to learn practical, faith-based strategies for handling even the toughest of behaviors. But the best part, you get weekly coaching calls with me, where we can explore your child or family's specific struggles and work together for some solutions. If you're tired of trying methods that just don't work, or you feel like you don't have time to add one more thing to your plate, don't worry. This program was designed to fit into a busy parent's life and give you real solutions with some quick wins too. Ready to take the first step toward a calmer home? Visit calmconnectionparent.com and learn more about the Calm Connection coaching program. You've got this, and I'm here to support you. Very good. We have talked about F for feel and A for accept. Let's move on to talk about the C in our acronym FACE, which stands for clarify. This step is all about gaining clarity for yourself, for your child, and for the people around you. When things feel overwhelming, confusion can easily creep in and take over. But clarity will help you navigate these tricky situations with confidence and calm. So let's break that down a little further. First, clarify for yourself. It's so important to get clear on what's going on with your child's unique needs, understanding the why behind their behavior, whether it's related to sensory processing, emotional intensity, being highly sensitive. A different way of processing the world can be a game changer. The more you learn about your child's wiring, the easier it will be to support them in a way that makes sense for both of you. And you are always better equipped as a support or an advocate when you know what you're talking about or doing. As my mom always said, if you're clear, they're clear. Make sure you understand your child's strengths and challenges. What do they need to thrive? What triggers them? What soothes them? By identifying patterns or getting clear on how your child processes situations, you'll have the tools to step in when things get tough. And it'll be easier to explain to others why your child reacts the way they do. Second, clarify for your child. As they get older, your child will need to understand themselves better too. Help them learn about their unique wiring and how to navigate their world. This doesn't have to be a heavy conversation. It can be lighthearted, even empowering or affirming. Say things like, you have a big heart, and sometimes your feelings come out in a big way. That's okay. I'm here to help you when it does. When children feel understood, they can begin to build more self-confidence and those self-regulation skills. And of course, we have to clarify for others. This is where things get tricky, but it's so important. Helping your family, friends, and others who interact with your child to understand what's really going on is key. This doesn't mean that you have to have deep emotional discussions with everyone, but sharing a little about your child's needs can make a huge difference. If your child struggles with loud noises, for example, you might let family members know ahead of time so they can be mindful of that. If they get overwhelmed in big crowds or maybe small houses with just a lot of people, you might let people know that they may need some space or some quiet time. It's not about making excuses. It's about providing others with the context they need in order to be supportive and understanding. By clarifying these things, you're building a bridge between your child and the people who love them, helping them see your child for who they really are, not just how they behave in their tough moments. And honestly, it also takes some pressure off you because you no longer have to carry the weight of explaining everything in the moment, because we know what those moments are like, a little bit chaotic. Instead, you've created a clearer path for everyone involved. So take a deep breath and think about what needs clarification. Maybe it's a little extra conversation with your family before the big holiday dinner. Maybe it's reflecting on how you might support your child's needs. Clarity can be empowering, and it gives you the confidence to handle those tricky situations with a little more ease and a lot more calm. On to E, express. This is where we put everything we've learned so far, feelings, our understanding, our clarity, into action. Expressing yourself means sharing your needs, your boundaries, and your expectations in a way that feels both authentic and respectful. It's about opening up and advocating for what's best for both you and your child, while also giving others the chance to step up and show support. First of all, I encourage you to express your needs. Maybe you need more understanding from family members, or perhaps you need space to let your child process in their own way. It's okay to be open about what's going to help you feel supported. I know it can be risky to be vulnerable, but it's okay. This can be a powerful way to help others understand the unique challenges that you, your child, and your entire family face. For example, you might say something like, I know it might seem like my child is being difficult, but they have a hard time in crowded spaces. It would help so much if we could find a quiet corner or even just a room where they can take a little break when they need to. And then building in those breaks before the train comes off the tracks, before your child becomes dysregulated. Second, I encourage you to express your boundaries. This might be the toughest part, especially when you feel like others might judge you or question your decisions. But boundaries are essential in maintaining healthy relationships and keeping a family environment that can feel calm and safe. You don't have to explain yourself in a defensive way or come across being offensive. Instead, just simply state what you need. For instance, I appreciate your support, but if you notice my child starting to get overwhelmed, would you mind just giving us a little time and space to regroup rather than giving advice? And yes, expressing your boundaries might also mean saying no to some things. If your child isn't ready to take on a big family dinner or a busy holiday event, it's okay to opt out for your child's well-being and your own peace of mind. Remember, saying no to some things is saying yes to other things, like your family's calm and peace. Lastly, this is going to sound a little crazy, but express your gratitude. I know that seems like it might be a little off topic, but it's not. Let your family know you appreciate their efforts to understand, even those really small steps that they take that are in the right direction. People can only meet you where they're at, so any effort to accommodate your child's needs is really worth recognizing. This creates the positive, open dialogue that encourages more understanding in the future. When you express your needs, set your boundaries, and even show appreciation, You're creating the space where your family can be more aware, involved, and supportive. And more than anything, you're teaching your child the power of healthy communication and that it really is okay to speak up for what they need to. So take a deep breath and express yourself confidently. You have the power to create a positive change in your family's understanding of your child. And in doing so, you can help create that calm, supportive environment that you both need to thrive. Inevitably, this is where some families ask, well, what if my family refuses to accept the issues? Well, you are the only one who can decide if your clarity and your clear communication can lead to meaningful change. It's also important to assess whether you've taken those steps with the right information and the right perspective. If you feel like you've already tried and nothing has shifted, then perhaps it's time to set limits, maybe not discussing it for a while and waiting until you have the energy and ability to reapproach it. There will be some people who remain closed-minded and unwilling to change their thinking. And you know what? That's okay. It's perfectly acceptable to set a boundary around not discussing your child's issues or your parenting choices if that's what's best for you and your family. However, with the right tips and tools, these conversations might unfold in a different way and lead to a new understanding. That's actually one of the reasons I created the Behind the Behaviors Guide. This guide provides a quick and easy reference for many of the child mental health challenges that families face. It offers clear strategies for interacting with and supporting your child, as well as your family. In fact, there's even a carefully drafted letter that's designed to help invite your family members into a better understanding of what you're facing so that they can become more informed and more supportive. Sometimes having an outside resource speak to these challenges can help family members see the validity of your situation rather than just dismissing it as mere excuses. So if having these tough conversations has felt too overwhelming, like it's going nowhere, consider getting a copy of this guide. It just might give you the tools you need to take that next step toward better understanding and support. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one last thought. You are doing an incredible job, even on the days when it feels like it's all falling apart. Parenting a child with unique wiring and extra needs takes a level of strength, patience, and love that's unmatched. And you are showing up for your child in ways that truly matter. Remember the steps we talked about today. Feel, accept, clarify, and express. These steps are more than just strategies. They're ways to create understanding. And not just with your extended family, but with your immediate family, yourself, and even modeling it for your child. And don't forget, if you feel like you've done all this and it's still a struggle, you're not alone. Tools like the Behind the Behaviors Guide can help bring a fresh perspective to tough conversations and help you provide clarity when you need it most. The link for that guide will be found in the show notes. So take a deep breath, trust yourself, and know that you can do this. God has promised that He will equip us for each step in our journey. The holiday season will come with its challenges, but you've got what it takes to walk this road with confidence and grace. Keep advocating for your child. Keep setting boundaries that protect their well-being, and keep expressing your needs. I'm cheering you on, and I'll be here for you every step of the way. And if you have a question that you'd like to submit for a future show, please join the online Parenting with Personality Facebook group. And there you can submit your question and find that helpful support. And if you're looking for the Behind the Behaviors Guide, you can visit calmconnectionparent.com/behindthebehaviors. That's it for today, but the journey to calm parenting doesn't stop here. If you are nodding in agreement, laughing, or maybe even crying, don't worry, we've all been there. Make sure to share this podcast with a friend who might need it too. Don't forget to connect with us at parentingwithpersonality.com or join our Parenting with Personality Facebook group. I'd love to support you there. And until next time, you've got this. Just keep calm and parent on.